have goals that are baseline with corporate. Corporate gives them their goals. Corporate sets this 40 and 4 standard. Corporate, at State Farm has their own standards. Liberty Mutual has their own standards. Everybody's got their own standards. And so we end up setting our goals based on trips and based on, whatever the corporate standards are, rather than based on what we want. Where do we want to be with this agency? Where do we want to be monthly? What is our bottom line? How much money are we trying to make in this game? So what I found out was you guys had an average goal of 27 policies per month for your goals for 2015. Not everybody filled one out, but of all the surveys that we did get back, we were at 27 policies a month. I don't know your average premium, but if we looked at what your average auto and what your average home premium is, have you guys, before you set your goals, did you guys ever calculate out what that means to you financially? To say, I want to write 27 policies. Some people are up, I want to grow by 200 policies. I want to write 400 policies, whatever that is each year. To actually put pen and paper to those goals and figure out what that means to your bottom line.
Some do, some don't.
Most of the time you don't. And so these are some of the things that we want to help you guys is kind of step back. We're able to come in from an objective standpoint and say, have you done this? What does that really mean? What does 27 policies a month really mean? Is that really why you got into this business? Is that really the legacy that you're trying to build? Can you really grow at 27 policies a month? And is that really what you're capable of? And I think that we can all agree that everybody in here is capable of way more than 27 policies a month. I mean, we should be writing at least 10 policies a week, minimum. That's the minimum standard. That's kind of where we set our bar with our agents, minimum. 60% of you guys did not reach your income goals for 2014. But 100% of the 60%, so every one of the people who did not reach their income goals, had goals that exceeded last year's goals for 2015. So you didn't reach 2014's goals, yet you exceeded your goals for 2015. Question there is, that I didn't ask there, but you have to ask yourself, if you're one of the 60% who did not reach your income goals for 2014, but you increased your goals for 2015, what did you do differently? Where is your marketing going to be different to get you there? What are you going to do different? Most of the time, we've never even thought about it. We just think we're going to reach higher with no plan. Then we have 50% of you guys had no system in place to track your goals. No daily trackers, no accountability. You just have your monthly folios that come out. So it puts you in a very reactive state. And so what we provide is a system for you guys. We help you realize some of these things that we haven't when you step out of the business, because you guys are in it day in and day out. You're in it every day, and it gets hard to remove yourself and kind of look back at your business from a different angle. And that's what we're able to help you guys do. 50% of you guys said that you're using social media, and that was about, we probably saw a little more than half of you guys raise your hands here. And what I want to say to those of you who aren't using social media and it's not for you, the great thing about it is that once you learn how to harness the power of social media, even though you're not using it, your referral partners are starving for this data. Realtors are starving for this data. They're starving for knowledge and how do I use social media. So if you can be that resource, you may not use it, but I promise you, you can still be a value-add resource in the marketplace to loan officers and real estate agents, financial advisors, divorce attorneys, any of these other partners, because I promise you, they probably are using it. They're in the majority of people who are using it. There's very few people who are out there like you guys, as you saw in the room, that aren't using it. So to have the knowledge is still extremely powerful. And then 60% of you guys are not where you thought you would be at this point in your career. So whether it's 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 60% of the surveys came back said that you're not where you hoped you'd be or where you thought you'd be.
Can I touch on that for a second?
Please.
What we found, and we worked with, in 2014, over 120 agents across the country. A lot of those agents are farmers agents. We've had a good relationship with farmers, with some of the district managers that sent us their people. And what we found, most of the agents, and these are not just the new reserve agents, people that have careered within the last 3 years, even some veteran agents, they still kind of think of themselves and operate like a producer. Farmers gives you a great platform, right, to come in and to begin working. But it's a long time before that agent actually begins to operate their business like a CEO, like a business owner, and starts to look at how can I scale this business? Is this possible? Do I have the systems and processes in place, or am I going to continue working inside of my business? And so part of what we do is we help to get them to understand is that, look, in one of our case studies, Daryl Barton out of Oklahoma City, we're going to show you how he scaled it, how he came in timid, shy, really didn't have a plan, but began to scale his business, and within 4 months had someone hired working inside of a real estate office that he had developed a relationship with.
And like I said, this data is very common. If we were to survey all of the folks that fill out our applications and we compile the data, it would look very similar to this within farmers. So, this is just to bring insight. I'm not saying this is good or this is bad. I'm just saying this is what it is. It is what it is. 75% of you guys that are using social media indicated that you were getting less than 5 leads per month. It's not good, it's not bad, it is what it is. So what I want to do is show you, once we talk to people who come into our program that are just like you guys, answer very similarly when they come in, and we kind of rearrange that mindset, and you start opening and expanding the possibilities of where you should be, and you set those new goals. These are farmers agents who have been through our program as of Q1 this year. Their average goal when we sent them the survey was 45 policies per month. Almost double what the average goal is here. Their actual was about 35 per month written. They all exceeded their income goals in 2014, and they averaged 100 leads monthly from social media. And then they each averaged 20 policies from social media. So they're on a pace to get 240 extra policies on top of what you're already doing. If you're already producing 240, 250 policies, and you can throw this in the mix and get another 20, now we're scaling. Now we're talking about doubling your business. If you're writing 20 now and we can get you to 40 a month, that's scaling your business. So most people, we originally grow our book of business by word of mouth, right? And Jonathan touched on that. We asked for referrals and this and that. 48% of consumers indicated that they got a referral from their insurance agent on social media. People get referrals, they use social media to get referrals. So social media is word of mouth on steroids. How many times have you seen in your timeline somebody say, hey, does anybody know a good painter in the area? Hey, I'm trying to, I share a funny story with you. My cat pissed on my suitcase. And I went to pull it out and I was like, oh my God, my cat pissed on my suitcase. So I went to Facebook and I said, hey, my cat pissed on my suitcase. Can somebody tell me how to clean this? Is it possible? Of course, number one, why you have a cat? Number two, no, you can't clean it with a new suitcase. But that's what people do. And so 48% of consumers indicated they got their referral for their insurance agent using social media, put it out there and say, hey, who's your insurance agent? Who do you recommend for health insurance? Who do you recommend for life insurance? So on and so forth. So if you have a presence on social media, you're able to be tagged in that question, and you're able to have your consumers trained to go, and anytime I see this, your real estate agents, your loan officers, anytime they see that on social media, they can tag you and notify you, hey, this person's looking for insurance. I built a massive business that way. Having 15, 20 real estate agents and loan officers out there who are always watching out for me, I'm always doing the same thing for them. Anytime they see insurance being posted, they tag me, accuse me to go and talk to that person, write business from them. So, social media can sometimes be perceived as something for kids or child's play or wasted time, but my Facebook window is open all day, every day. Was around insurance, still is today. So many leads are pouring in just by inboxing and tagging and being active in groups, utilizing social media.
Let me tell you something real quick there too. And so again, going to becoming the CEO of your company, right? The CEO of your company, a CEO is always looking for ways to grow. And so as the CEO of my company, I'm thinking, okay, there's 1 billion people that use this, right? Or maybe it's even a younger social media, like take Snapchat. We don't use Snapchat, we don't teach it. But the mindset, my mindset is, I wonder if we could. It's not, no, it's only for 12-year-old girls, but it's, there's 20 million users on that, there's 1 million on Facebook. How could I use that platform for my business? That's the mindset, that's the thought process. Maybe you can't, maybe you can, but you've got to be open to trying to figure that out, not shut off to the fact of, I'm going to continue to do what I've been doing, even though I haven't been getting the results that I wanted.
Which 60% of you guys already indicated that you're not. So we have to do something. Maybe it's not this. Maybe social media is not for you. Maybe it's not the way that you grow your business. But definitely something's got to give if we're going to increase our goals, and we didn't hit the goals we set initially in the first place. So social media, talking about rearranging your thinking and how you think of things. So a lot of times we think of this as this platform to share pictures and take pictures of our food and selfies, check-in places, talk with family and friends. But what you should really think of social media as is this artificial intelligence giant, because that's really what it is. What Facebook does is they track every comment that you ever make, every status update that you've ever written, every message that you send is tracked, every comment you've liked, that you've shared, every page that you've liked, every website that you visit, everywhere that you check in, all of this information is tracked. They know what you and your friends talk about. They know what your friends do for a living. They know what you do for a living. They know whether you rent or own. They know how much money you make. They know your relationship status. They know everything about you. And what they do is they make that available to marketers. Once they went public, obviously the people that they make their money from and they depend on are people like myself and Jonathan and other marketers who are using social media and spending money from that intelligence. So they make it available, and it's now the most widely used and most effective medium that you can spend money on. The least expensive and the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to marketing is going to be on Facebook right now.
And here's what most people think of Facebook. And it's probably most of you in this room, right? That Facebook is awesome, and it's this billion-dollar company because it connects Aunt Edna with Uncle Rico. And that's all well and good, and it's awesome, right? But Facebook is a billion-dollar company because of the amount of data that they've collected since 2008. It rivals Google, right? They know, just like Sean said, they know where I eat, sleep, the parks I take my daughters to. That information is extremely valuable to business owners. That's why it's a billion-dollar company. That's why they went public. As a business owner, you want to know that data. You want to be able to get your information in front of your ideal client. Instead of sending a 4,000 person mailer and maybe only 500 of those people are your ideal client, you just wasted a lot of money doing that. So that data allows you to get in front of your ideal client, spend your marketing dollars efficiently straight to them.
Right. And when I look at social media, when I look at every post, it's like a mailer. Every post that I put out is like a mailer. So you could canvass a 10,000, unit neighborhood, 10,000 residents in a neighborhood with a mailer and send them out a renter's postcard if it's apartments or a homeowner's postcard. And that's fantastic, but it's a very generalized message, and that's what attributes to the low rate of return and the low response rate on direct mail, mass mailing pieces like that, because it just doesn't speak to the consumer. But if I could write a piece of mail that knew that this person just bought a boat, or this person just got married, or this person's getting divorced, and this person's doing this, I knew exactly what was going on in their life, and I could write an individual piece of mail to them, I bet your response rate would be triple, if not quadruple. And that's what you're able to do with Facebook. It's just in a digital form. Instead of them checking their mailbox, they're going to check it in their newsfeed. That's how they're going to get your mail every single day. And how much would it cost you to send 10,000 pieces of mail every single day? A lot of money. So what all this does is it creates an edge rank score. Every time that we post, we have an edge rank score. And so I won't get too deep into it, but every profile and every post has a score. And that's what determines your position in the newsfeed.
How many of you know Google SEO, search engine optimization? You know what that is? Okay, that's what edge rank. Edge rank for Facebook is SEO, Google SEO.
Right, it determines your position in the timeline. You guys probably have hundreds, if not thousands, some of you friends in your personal page. But you probably see the same handful of people, right? But you're wondering where these other people go. There's a little right sidebar. And the reason that Facebook determines who goes where and what you see is everybody's default setting on their timeline is going to be to most popular. And what that means is what score, which post has the highest edge rank score based on engagement. So some of the things that we teach and some of the strategies is how to get your post in front of more people more often. If you post it on your business page, those of you that do, and you've wondered why you've only got 1 or 2 likes and only 30 people saw it, it's because your edge rank score is really low. And Facebook isn't finding that information to be very valuable to the users, and so they don't put it in the timeline. So what we try to help you do is get your post in the timeline more often so that you get your message in front of people that want to see it and get them engaged with your page. Anything on that?
And we're not talking about, hey, I just saved the family $500 on their annual insurance. Give me a call, right? That's the stuff that people just continue to scroll. They don't want to hear it. That's not the way to use organic Facebook. And when we say organic Facebook, we're talking about your personal page. You should be engaging on a level that's adding value and bringing something to the table instead of talking about how much money you just saved this person or anything like that. You want to share success stories, things that go on in your agency, but you really want to really be effective at it and begin to share life. So people know that they're doing business with you not necessarily farmers or what have you. That when they think of you, they think insurance. When they think of insurance, they think of you. But oh, by the way, you know, Mary over here is a soccer mom and a philanthropist, and she volunteers over here. They really get to know you, and that's how you begin to attract people that are like you, right? Most of us here, unless you don't like yourself, would like to fill your book of business with people that are similar to you, right? When I was building my book of business, I wanted people in my age range, 30 to 50, right? Who had a family, had some assets, maybe a few toys, had some kids to protect. I didn't want to fill my book with people that wanted to come in, sit down, and ask me about co-insurance, right? To ask me why their policy went up 3% when they had no claims. Well, man, you gotta understand that in 2011, there was a huge, nationwide, there were tsunamis and everything. And here's reinsurance. And this is what, you don't want those kind of clients. And so you're able to put people who are like you into your book of business, but also do business, right? Attracting those real estate agents, those mortgage bankers who are like you. We had an agent in Las Vegas. He's like, well, you should see some of the stuff I post on Facebook. I really don't want people seeing that. And I'm like, why not? Would you rather do business with real estate agents maybe that like to party like you do, or mortgage bankers, people that are like you? Or would you rather do business with people that on the surface really aren't going to like you? And so it was like, that really makes sense. I said there's plenty of realtors out there that would love to go spend Sunday at Mariah Bay with you and have a few cocktails and go gambling. And so that's the whole point. Attracting and doing business with people that share your interests, that believe what you believe, right? Same as putting people into your book of business. You don't want to do business with everybody, right? That's not a good way to do a book of business. And again, you're coming from a position of lack. The best thing for you to be able to do is to say, look, I appreciate your interest in my agency, but it's just not going to be a good fit. Well, what do you mean it's just not going to be a good fit? I mean, that's a pretty neat place to be if you can operate that way as an agency owner.
So one of the other things that we teach and that we preach and practice in our own business, and that you guys really need to adopt. If you don't take anything else from us today, take this. Video is huge. If you've ever logged in your timeline, or if you have Facebook on your phone, you can log in right now, and I promise you one of the top 5 posts is going to be a video. Video is taking over the timeline. So it's a huge, and they're in a heated race against Google, or against Google and YouTube on video plays. They're racing for position on who can get the most video plays. Facebook actually surpassed YouTube in desktop video plays in 2014. So they are giving preferential treatment to those who are posting videos. They're giving that higher edge rank score when you post a video and keeping it in the timeline so you're able to get your message out there in front of more people. Because Facebook knows that their user base is going to be engaged more with the video than just you writing a one-liner on your status update talking about the fact that you're grumpy or it's hot or it's humid or whatever the case may be. So they have to keep users in the timeline. The longer they can keep you in the timeline, which, by the way, does anybody know how long the average user spends on Facebook a day? How many hours a day? 3.5 to 4 hours a day. The average user spends 3.5 to 4 hours a day. Yes, a day. So what they need to do is they need to keep those users in the timeline and logged in more often, because the longer you're logged in, the more ads they can serve. The more ads they serve, the more clicks happen, the more they make. So they're constantly changing the algorithm, trying to figure out what are our users engaging with. Right now it's video. You gotta be on the cutting edge, you gotta be using video. Video plays are up 785% year over year and 134% quarter over quarter. And this is data as of mid-2014, yes. So the opportunity here is that you have to keep an eye on the Facebook algorithm changes and be able to adapt to the strategies, optimize the value, and reach your paid and organic strategy. So when stuff like this happens, you have to be tuned to it and make adjustments in your marketing plan. You should be getting in front of the video camera. It's hard to do when you first start, and everybody hates it. And we start right out of the gates. I think in week 2, we start getting folks in front of the video, and they absolutely hate it. But now if you look at any of our clients that are connected with us, you'll see them in videos, whether it's selfie, whether they're produced, or whatever the case may be. So here's one example of one of our clients, Keisha, who's out in Maryland. This is a Spanish video, and we targeted Spanish users for this. This is from her business page, Keisha Santa Agency. I don't know if you can see this number here, but we're looking at 24,871 views on this single video of her in her office talking about auto insurance. And I don't know if you guys can read Spanish, but I think this says something along the lines of, have your rates gone up, you haven't heard from your agent, you know, you're looking for something different, I don't know, something along those lines. I don't speak Spanish, I don't read Spanish, but it's something targeting auto insurance here. You can see 112 shares that people put in every time someone shares a status. If I share your status, everybody on my friends list is going to see that status. So 112 shares and 623 likes.
I call that free advertising.
The numbers on this is she's paying 2 cents per view on this video with the targeting that she's using. It's only costing her 2 cents to get her message in front of people.
So we've got a couple of different strategies. So this
Who does she pay that 2 cents?
Facebook.
$500.
yeah. So there's a couple of different strategies we have going on here. This is the business side, right? You can do this with.
She raised $500 for that?
Yeah, she spent $500 total, and on this particular ad, 24,800 views, and she generated 113 leads of people who clicked this link and filled out a form that said, yes, I want a quote for $500. Now average that out. I don't know what that is cost per lead. I'm bad with numbers, but it's free or cheap.
$3.50 cheap.
Exclusively. These aren't people who are out shopping for insurance either. These people didn't wake up and decide, I'm going to go look for insurance, like Quote Wizard, NetQuote, all those guys, all web leads. They're finding people who are in the market looking for cheap insurance. Cheap insurance Prescott, cheap insurance Phoenix, auto insurance Phoenix, Arizona, whatever. They're already looking, so they're shoppers. You don't want shoppers. You want to find people who aren't shoppers. You want to create the shopping trigger. She created the trigger. She said, hey, if this is you, click this link because I can help. And she put it in front of them. And for $3.50, she's got an exclusive lead that's not shopping for insurance, that didn't wake up and decide they were going to find an insurance agent that day, but the message spoke to them, so they decided, okay, I'm interested. Now it's just her and the other carrier. Her closing rate on this funnel was 38%.
And this was on the business side. We've got some case studies we're going to show you. You can do that on the organic side too. You've got agents generating leads from doing that on their personal page for $0, right? That's $0 on your personal page. So it goes both ways. So there's 2 different strategies there. You learn both and we teach both.
This is a graph here that just shows the unique organic impressions per fan page. What types of posts get the most engagement? And you can see here in the purple, this is video. That's where all the engagements come in on the business side. Same for the personal side too. We look at both. There's 2 different strategies that you should be using, your personal page and your business page. They each have different algorithms that they operate from, and you have a different strategy you should be using. But you can see that video is where you're getting all of your engagement. So if you want that business page to get active, you want people to start liking stuff, you want them to like your page, you want them to share your status, you want them to follow that page, you got to give them some engagement, give them something to follow. The farmer's postcard thing, I don't know, do you guys use that, what is that that social media management?
Hearsay.
You guys use that too?
Yeah.
The stuff that if they push it through for you, I know at Liberty Mutual, they'll give you the post and you just got to hit the button. And that stuff's not engaging. That's boring. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody's going to comment. Nobody's going to look at it. You're going to stay in the right side. It's going to crush your edge rate. And Facebook is to say everything this guy puts out is trash, so we're just going to keep it in the right side. Nobody's going to see it. So you want to avoid it. The next best thing you can do is links and status updates, and then you've got photos. Photos, though, on the personal page happens to be where you get the second most engagement. So video first, then photos, and then just regular status updates with no photo attached to it. If you think of any celebrity that you might follow on social media, always, always, always post with a video or a photo. Always. You'll never see a celebrity just write a 1 or 2 liner sentence. Twitter, obviously, yes, but not on Facebook either. Anything for you?
Not
Pretty good. Huh? So let's pull up your examples here.
So we're gonna get into 2 examples. But before we do, I wanted to ask you guys a couple of questions. How many of you do target real estate agents and mortgage bankers for new business production? Anybody have that as a part of their business plan? Okay. Is there any particular reason that only a few of you do?
I've never gone after them, I think they're just all used up. I've always used my special little niches, and that seems to be working the best for me.
Okay, and when you say all used up, what do you mean?
Just seems like there's always so many agents going after those, and, you know,
Okay.
those are spread so
Sure.
thin.
Anybody else have another reason why they're not using that as a piece of their business plan?
Gatekeepers?
Okay, trying to get past the gatekeeper.
Right.
That's a big one, right? What are you gonna say when you walk into the office, right? Well, here's what most agents do, and here's where you can start to set yourself apart. Most agents walk into a real estate office with donuts and rate sheets, and they say, hey, I can bind a policy in 10 minutes. Please send me your business. And they walk around and they leave, and then the agent goes, that's what the last idiot that just came in said. The same thing. Do all of them have the lowest rates? I don't get it. I mean, and so that's what you don't want to do. That's what we teach our agents not to do, right? As you learn this stuff, and this is a part of everything that Sean is showing you is great, but what you do is you begin to understand and build this knowledge. So what you begin to become to these referral partners is a source of knowledge, of value. You're able to go to them and to begin sharing, hey, are you using social media in the way that you can? Is it a part of your business plan? Did you know this? Did you know that? So you're approaching them with value, helping them market their business, helping them grow their business. How many buyer leads did you get on Facebook last month, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor? And no one else is approaching them that way. No one else is bringing real estate agents leads. No one else is bringing 10, like Brian Blair out of South Dakota did, 30 leads in 39 days for 4 different loan officers in his area of South Dakota. So if you're worried about rural, we can get rid of that worry right now.
And what you're able to do, real quick, Jonathan, when you come from a place of value, nobody cares about insurance. Let's be honest. People have it because they have to. It's required by law, required by the bank. Because if they had a choice, they probably wouldn't do it. I bet there'd be a huge percentage of people who wouldn't insure anything. So you have to know that when you go in and present, you're trying to build values, but they don't care about your policy. The loan officer, the real estate agent, the financial advisor, the divorce attorney, they don't care about your policy. They care about, what are you going to do for me? If I'm sending you business, what are you doing for me? How can you help me, right? So this is a way that you can help them. You can become an indispensable part of their business. And they don't care about what your rate is anymore because they're like, you're going to use my guy because this is the guy I trust. And they need you, so they're going to push you even harder to their clients. The whole 3-card thing, who's ever talked to real estate agents like, well, we have to give 3 cards because, you know, it's steering if we don't. Have anybody heard that? Yeah, so they have standards and they're not allowed, they can be held liable, or they're scared into believing they can be liable if they refer 10. If Jonathan's real estate agent refers 10, and then 10's company screws something up, they can be looped into the lawsuit too. Because, well, you told me to go to 10, and now 10 screwed it up, so you come on into this lawsuit too. So they really scare the crap out of real estate agents and loan officers in particular about sending referrals. But we're able to get rid of that because when you start putting leads and money in their pocket and helping them build their business, now all of a sudden they need you. They can't afford to lose you anymore. So that's what we help you do, is really build that value proposition for you. And you're not talking insurance, you're talking, hey, we're going to have a partnership and we're all going to win here. And this is how we're going to do it. So we got time to go over one or two of these real quick.
Okay, I need to get through at least 2 of them. Brian Blair here, he's an agent out of South Dakota. He joined with us 2 days with farmers. He careered in 39. He's done 40 policies a month ever since. If you look at his video, who here thinks the lighting could probably be improved a little bit, right? Yeah. That's the cool thing about video, though. This video, it's content. It's not necessarily quality. You can shoot a selfie video. This video alone got 1,359 views on his personal page. He paid nothing to do this. Head over to Tony. This was what Tony did. He ran a contest, right? For tickets. Pirates tickets. 1,900 shares, right? Almost 1,100 likes on that. Anybody have any idea what that kind of exposure would have cost you if you had to spend money on that? That was his personal page, again, not a business page. Go over to Daryl Barton. Daryl Barton, Oklahoma City on the left. This is an agent who was timid, wasn't really sure that video or social media was going to work with him. I probably had 7 conversations with him, and I don't do that anymore, but I probably had 7 conversations with him on how we could help him. What Daryl has done is he's positioned himself as an expert. He's asked to go speak now. And if you see one of these quotes, another awesome, scroll up. Another inspirational turnout. Thank you for everyone. What word makes you intense? Scroll down a little bit. This is what a loan officer, Daryl Barton, he's getting quoted now by loan officers on Facebook. The intensity of your life. This is part of that mindset, right? He's using our program as a blueprint and going out and creating whatever else he wants. Let me tell you a little bit about Daryl Barton. Since he's been with us in the last 5 months, he's inked 2 different deals with real estate firms. Daryl said, I'm not targeting one single realtor and one single loan officer. I'm doing business on the executive level. I'm the CEO of my own company. I want to go talk to the broker. Here's what I can help you do for your real estate office. He's inked 2 different deals, and because of those 2 deals, he now has first right of refusal with 10 loan officers at a mortgage company. Daryl wasn't sure what he was going to do with his business, was trying to figure it out. In those 4 months, he's now hired someone to sit in one of those real estate offices. He is now beginning to scale his business.
Remember the Keisha Santa video that I just showed you guys? Here's her leads pouring in, literally pouring in from the Facebook video that she did. Here's another farmer's agent out in Texas, Taylor Doby. This is from his, this was a post in one of our groups that we always share our successes in. The newest funnel is pumping out leads. Woke up to my mailbox full this morning. If you haven't talked to Sean Jonathan about the one-on-one training, you're making a big mistake. And he shows a screenshot here of his leads pouring in. Woofu is one of the lead capture systems that we use, and I think Leo's using that for the district here. It's a free service. You guys can check it out at woofu.com, see how you can manipulate those forms and use them to capture data. But you can see a couple of these results here, and here's just some more. Like, when was the last time you guys looked? Tuesday. These are all coming from lead pages and different squeeze pages from an agent in South Dakota, the Brian Blair that he talked about. This is a veterans resource. This was done here in Chandler. This is a veterans resource for Chandler. These 61 leads went to a real estate office in Chandler for buyers, people looking, veterans who are looking to buy homes that we generated.
I would imagine you guys could probably get the attention of some real estate firms if you were able to do that for them.
What if you walked in, what if you set up a forum like this and you walked into the presentation and said, I have 61 people who are looking to buy real estate right here in Chandler. They're all veterans. I'm looking for somebody to partner with in my business who can help veterans through the home buying process. Right? That's a really strong position to come from. So even if social media is not for you, it's for them. I promise you it's for them. And there's nobody else that's going to be able to deliver value like that. When was the last time you walked into your mailbox looking like this all day long with leads just turning it boom, 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 boom? It just doesn't happen. This is the only way. There's no, you can pay, if you want to pay $10 a lead, I don't know, do the math real quick, times 61, $610.
And compete with other agents.
That's expensive. We saw Keisha did 500. She spent $500, and you saw her mailbox well over 100. Yes, sir.
I was going to say, I started my own agency Facebook page. It's probably been 8 or 9 years now. And it's interesting because it really took off. It seems to me like I gotta leave it up during the day because it's a natural communication device anymore.
You want
Instead
it
of
is,
people
you got it.
sending emails, and it's funny because I get people going, man, you're a Facebook whore. You're on there all the time. And I said, no, hold on. I actually hate drawing the stuff on Facebook. This thing's bringing me business in. And it's only the stuff that I've set up, and I'm like computer challenged.
Right.
So I know, it does work. I don't do the realtor things. I do a lot of off-road type stuff, and I'm tied into all those groups. And I get probably 5 to 10 leads a week on just like a Jeep or an ATV or something like that.
Here's part of the key to that, right? I'm going to use this word intentional. It's about being intentional with your use of social media. And all of you with your entire businesses. And this is what I'll say. It's great to set goals.
Just real quick to bring up a point, you bring up a really good point that you leave it up, that you find that people like to communicate. Another stat that I read on the way over here was that 60% of consumers, maybe it was 70%, it's either 60 or 70, I can't remember exactly, percent of consumers said that having access to their insurance agent on social media influenced their decision on which agent they chose to do business with. Being able to have that accessibility, consumers are so needy, they want everything right here, right now. And if they're on a platform for 3.5 to 4 hours a day, and they can drop you a quick message and know that you're gonna reply, man, that's some huge value. Because they're not gonna get that at Geico, they're not getting that at Progressive, they're probably not getting that at any other carrier because no insurance agent is using social media in that way. That we're just not, we are so far ahead of the curve with this program, it's unreal. Because roomfuls of people and nobody's doing it. But when you can, and you start seeing amazing things happen, and that's when referrals start happening. This guy's on Facebook all the time, you can reach him anytime, it's 24/7, you know, whatever the case is. That's when you start getting people tagging your page, you get them, you know, screaming, shouting, and singing praises about your agency. Go ahead, Matheis.
Well, just with being intentional, right? There is a strategy, and if you are intentional, it's just like we mentioned about targeting real estate agents and mortgage bankers, right? If you were intentional, are you setting goals? I plan to do business with 10 different this year. I plan to do this. That's part of what you have to begin doing. That's part of what we begin to introduce to you is an actual plan, right? Most agents that come to us, they have goals, but they've never written them down. They have goals, they don't have a roadmap. They have no idea how they're going to get there. And so this program begins to pique that interest and begins to get them to understand, I need to start writing stuff down, I need to start speaking. And we had a guy in our free group, Sean put out a challenge the other day, to just tell yourself, how many policies do you want to write tomorrow at the end of the day? Tell yourself how many policies, and this guy posted, he's like, I told myself I was going to write 6 policies. I didn't have anything coming and I wasn't sure. At the beginning of the day, I woke up and said, I'm going to write 6 policies today. He wrote his 6th policy at like 7 p.m. that night. So it's about being intentional, and it's about having a plan and a process in place. And so some of you are probably like, okay, this is all great information. How do I join, or what is the process? So our trainings, everything that we do is delivered virtually. Our program is handled. You want to show them something?
No, I'm just putting up here so they can, you can tell about the program, and what types of topics that they cover.
So it's delivered 8 weeks, right? We have 2 different programs. We have Agency Alliance 1.0 and Agency Alliance 2.0, and it's delivered virtually. So each and every week you're going to log into this secret Facebook group where you're going to have access to email scripts, farmers, affinity emails, all kinds of Facebook messages that you can send out, ways to begin finding real estate agents, mortgage bankers, attorneys in your area on social media, how to find them. When you do connect with them, what do you say to them? And so that training is in there. It's about 55 minutes. After that, we're going to give you some homework. These are just a few action items for you to begin implementing the system, right? To begin developing the relationships, to begin generating the leads, and closing the policies. Once you've done that homework on Thursdays right now, 11:30 Central, we have our strategy call. And there's anywhere from 20 to 50 agents across the country, our alumni and people currently going through the program, masterminding, strategizing, talking life insurance, talking what part of the program is working for them, what's not. There are thousands of ideas passed around that strategy call each and every week. And so that goes on for 8 weeks in Agency Alliance 2.0. And those that graduate and want to continue on, which 80% do, they go on to Agency Alliance 2.0, where it's intense, go-to-webinar, Google Hangout style, learning how to generate these leads, how to write the copy, what photos to use, why people are looking at it but not actually filling out the form. That's also 8 weeks. And when an agent goes fully through our program, they see an additional anywhere from $3,600 to $4,200 in additional gross revenue every month. We're talking every month. So an additional almost $50,000 and anywhere from $40,000 to $70,000 additional gross revenue every year for a one-time small investment in your business. And so, I don't know if you want to share anything.
Yeah, so, you know, we talked a lot on social media today, and I wanted to just share with you guys some of the other topics that we talked about on the program. It's very structured, and we give you, it's all great to have great information. Yeah, that's all great. And a lot of times you'll go through a program, or you'll go through some sort of, you know, whether it's a Tony Robbins or a business builder, or, you know, a class, or you go to a webinar, and they show you all these great things, and you have all this great information, but then they don't tell you what to do with it. So the great thing about what we do is the homework, it's not something that you're quizzed on about the training and you turn in. It's action steps. Okay, now that we've told you this, we talked to you about efficiency measures, we talked to you about sales process, talked to you about your follow-up process, we gave you the scripts. Here's what you need to go and do this week. do these things, that roadmap, what you should be doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis if you're not quoting and binding. And that's what we found 75% of insurance agents lack, is that direction. What should I be doing on a daily basis if I'm not quoting or binding to be generating leads? And we give you that roadmap of exactly what you need to go and do with this information in bite-sized chunks once a week, so that it's not overwhelming, and that by the end of the 8 weeks, you've got a well-oiled machine that you're going to come in and you're going to know your mailbox is going to look just like that every single day. You're not going to have to stress about it. That's when you can bring on the producer. Most of you guys in your survey, I think about 80% of you, said that you didn't know how to grow the agency, when the right time was to hire people, how to really take it beyond yourself as the individual producer, how to scale it. You know, when financially you can do that. When you're like Robert Bosak in San Diego, when every other farmer's agent is crying about rate in California, he's flooded with leads. He had to hire 2 people. Just since he started, 8 weeks ago?
Yeah,
He's had hired 2 people in 8 weeks
32 policies in 1 week, 2 weeks ago.
just to handle the lead flow. And he's not hiring part-time dialers to cold call. He's hiring people to close leads. He's hiring producers.
Tom Knapp in Indiana, the same way.
Yeah. So that's how you're able to exponentially grow your business, is when you have the lead flow to support somebody. Because that's a big risk on your part as a business owner, is to take on another person. But you know, as one person, you can only do so much. There's only so much you can grow. So if you really want to grow, you've got to have the lead flow. You've got to have the customers to support a producer, because if I come and work for you and your phone doesn't ring and I can't sell and I'm compensated on selling, we're going to have a problem. I won't work very long, I promise you. I'll go to an agent whose phone is ringing, like this guy. Somebody who's experienced, somebody who has, but when you can show them, I'm flooded, I need somebody. You put a lot of value, and somebody's going to want to work with you real quick when you can show them that. If they're interviewing around, you could pick off a producer from another company that's already licensed. Say, hey, you getting this, because they're probably doing the same thing that every other producer is doing, and cold calling, working internet leads, getting beat up every single day.
And you'll find that producer using social media.
Right.
Because you're on
Producers
Facebook,
hate
right?
their job. I started as a producer. They feel like everything that they do is everything the agent doesn't want to do. And it would be nice to be a producer and say, man, I would like to work some leads that actually close, or not getting beat up and hung up on and chasing people around. And we actually got people who are interested in doing business with our agency. We don't cold call. We could go to farmers, whatever, and everything that we teach you guys is exactly how we run our business, exactly how I run my agency. I could easily hire a bunch of people to be dialers for me and cold calling you agents, going to the websites and looking zip codes and find an agent and just start calling offices and pitching programs. Could do that, but I don't want to. I want to do business with people who want to do business with me. So I run my campaigns and I run my marketing to find the agents who raise their hand and say, hey, Sean, I'm interested in talking to you. I'm interested in doing business with you. So every single phone call that I get on, I have an opportunity to close. When you cold call somebody, you don't know that you have the opportunity, because you don't even know if they're interested. They're suspects at that point. You suspect they might be interested. They're not prospects until you know for sure that they're interested in what it is that you have to sell them. Right? So most of the time, most insurance agents are dealing with suspects all day. And it beats you to death. It beats your producers to death. This way, you're dealing with prospects. They already know what they're filling out. They know what they want. They didn't fill out for an iPad and now an insurance agent's calling them. They know exactly what they're doing, and they welcome the call. They want to talk to you. Wouldn't it be nice to call somebody who's like, oh man, I was waiting on your call, thanks. Let's do this. And you have an opportunity to close a piece of business every single time you call a lead. It's a great place to be. So that's the exact same way that we operate. I didn't call Leo and say, hey, here's what we do, here's who we are. Could you fit us in here? Leo reached out to us. So wouldn't it be nice to never have to do that?
Relationship. That's social media. What started as him following us, started as a relationship, started as him and Sean talking about ideas, ways to grow the district, all that kind of stuff. So again, there's proof in the pudding here as far as that's concerned. It's about relationships. We use social media as a conduit to build powerful relationships so that you can show up to the marketplace powerful every day instead of from a place of lack.
It's the only way I know, and the way that I use, the only proven method that I've seen, that you could literally never have to make another cold call. Neither would your staff. Anyhow, Any questions for us?
How we doing?
It's,
We're all good.
yes, fine, we're done.
Okay, any questions?
Well, I guess I got a question. You know, since I've been doing this for a long time, I need to look at what I can do better with what I'm already
When you
doing.
say a long time, are you talking insurance or social media?
Well, social media with
Okay.
my agency page. You know, we've put on that Hearsay Social, you know, I've worked with them and whoever the company was before, and we've got the quote tab on there, like you go on my agency page, if you want to get a quote, you click on that, and it actually takes you to my website, and then runs you through just like they went to my website.
When Facebook went public, it became a pay-to-play system on that business side, right? You might have 200 people that like your business page, and when you make a post, maybe 12 see it. You're gonna have to pay, whenever you use that business, whenever you use Hearsay to do that, if you actually want to reach anybody, even people that have liked your, people that have already said, hey, I like your page,
Yeah.
they're still not gonna see the post unless you put money behind it.
All right, and that's what I'm kind of wondering, because it almost looks like where I got to the point is I've kind of stalled out, or I won't gain any more, so that's why I'm wondering.
We move all that activities to organically to the personal page.
And Ellen, I'll just say this, and I talked a little bit right up front about what we were testing with Cream Labs. It cost me less than $200 to get 37 people to fill out information with one of us to contact them about the campaign.
Yeah, well, I know, I mean, right now, I'm not paying anything, and I need to get another staff person just to,
I think we had a question here.
Well, I was just gonna ask you, if you, are you guys gonna talk to us in this meeting, like about pricing at all, with you guys, or is that something that we do,
It's
sort of
important.
after the meeting, or?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple of things, and I'll let Sean touch on this. It's important that, go ahead.
Haven't built a form.
Yeah, we've got forms here, we'll make sure each and every one of you get. One of the most important things is that if everybody came in and said, hey, we're in, well, that's gonna, we wanna make sure that you're a good fit for the program. It's important for us, we've gotta know that people are gonna get in and do the work. So absolutely, we've talked with the district about helping with that, for those of you that are interested.
We're
We don't know-
gonna have some DM cost share.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what that looks like yet, but for those of you who are interested, absolutely.
I'll tell you right now, the retail for both 1.0 and 2.0 is $4,500 to go through 8 weeks. That's if you came to me one-off, that's what it's gonna cost. So we're working with Tim and Leo on some cost sharing. So your actual cost, I don't know. We'll get with these guys and give you.
Okay, great.
Quick question, you were talking about directing all those leads to pay 2 cents a piece for, so you can specifically target an area, who opens it then, based on this, or is it open for anybody to share to anybody, and you're paying for all of? whoever-
No, you don't pay for the organic. So on her video, those 113 shares, when that was shared organically, and somebody, if I shared yours and you a paid ad of yours, and I shared it and he clicked it, that's not going to cost you. It's only going to cost the people that they're serving it to, that I saw it as a sponsored ad, or I saw it on the right side of my news feed.
And you can pick who gets the sponsored ad over.
Correct.
Okay, that was the question.
Very specific.
Awesome.
Any other questions? Anyone back here in the back?
He's got an answer with the price.
Oh, price, okay, cool. So if you guys are interested, if you will just fill out that little form that we have there, and talking with us, and then what we can do is we can take those of you that are interested and share that with Tim and Leo, and we can move in the next couple of weeks further into discussion about how we can help you. And again, it may not be something that's a good fit for you right now, but we are going to send everybody access to our free group that we have. There's over 700 agents that we'll invite you into, and there's a lot of ideas and there's a lot of referrals that are passed in there. So we'll invite you guys to go in there and at least join that and start communicating with other folks and other agents around the country. And I think that's it, but I really appreciate you guys' time and attention today. And if you need anything, I've got some cards out there. Just drop me an email, find me on Facebook, and drop me a note.
Everybody find value today? Is this helpful?
Is a 55-year-old white male cheated? It's like go to the grocery store unless we see a discount. The bars aren't doing that yet. As I've stated a number of times in the State of the Ink is important. I was not a social media guy. I didn't like it. It's all the drama side of it. I see the business fit, and this is the way we do it. We're working on pricing, and basically depending on how many people we get in, I'm gonna be part of it. And it's that important. If it wouldn't, if I didn't think it was important, I sure wouldn't put my money behind it.